You can use ChatGPT or maybe Gemini to create a logo, but you can also use a tool called Google Whisk. Now, what makes this tool different is that instead of relying on the text prompt, Google Whisk is actually relying on image references. So you can upload up to 3 images to be taken as references, and then AI will create new images based on your prompt, but also based on the image references. That means you can specify the style that you want to use on the picture. So this is very useful if you want to create, let's say, a logo, but you want to have a style that is similar to other logo or other paintings or other visual content. Because again, Google Whisk is just very good at copying the style from one content to another. So you can use, or you can take other big companies' logo as a reference and then create a new logo based on that. That's definitely a possibility. So let me show you how you can use this AI tool to create a logo from another logo. So first, let's navigate to Google Whisk, and the easiest way to find these websites by navigating to Google first and then search for Google Whisk. And you want to click on the result that says Whisk Labs Google, also labs.google/fx. Now, this is still an experimental feature and it's not yet widely available. I think in only some countries can access this tool. And if you cannot access this tool, or if your country is not supported, then there is a good possibility that it is not yet available. But you can use a VPN service to access labs.google, or basically just access this URL, even if you're not living in that country. So that's one workaround that you could try to be able to access this tool. Now, after that, you can log in with your Google account and you can enter the tool. This is what Google Whisk looks like. It's actually kind of familiar to other AI tools. There is a big text area where you can describe the thing or the content that you want to create. But of course, we want to utilize the image transfer or, style transfer capability from Google Whisk. So let's click this button to expand the menu. There's a section for subject, scene, and then style. Now, I think the best way to describe this is by actually doing a demonstration. Let's say I want to create a logo from the style of the Gemini logo. This is the current logo of Gemini AI. Now, I'm going to upload the image for the style section. Let's select that Gemini logo. And just wait until finish. Okay, now here we can describe the thing that we want to create. Let's say I want to create a logo for a donut shop. Let's say that's gonna be my logo. And let's select this. If you want to select the aspect ratio, you can do that. And you can also specify the seed or the model quality. But after that, you can send the message, send the image to this AI tool, and just wait for a few seconds for 2 new images to be created based on this style. Okay, so that is the result. Now, it's not exactly what I would imagine, but again, you can always modify the prompt a bit, or you can also click this button again, and it will give you a different result every single time. Okay. I will show you another thing that you can do on the image that, let's say, you want to refine. Okay, so let's try maybe using this as an example. There is a refine feature that you could click, and you can actually tell AI about the things that you want to add into the picture. Now, there is something here that you need to know about the model that is being used by Whisk at the moment. It is using the Imagen-4 model, so it is not in the level of consistency as ChatGPT or some other tools like Flux One Context. They're very good at creating images and maintaining consistency, but Imagen-4 model that is being used by Whisk is not very good. So it is really a tool for drafting some concept for the final logo. Anyway, let me just do a quick demonstration. Let's say I want to add a background. So change the background to maybe, I don't know, maybe black. Let's use a black background. It is able to do that, but you'll see that the logo will change a bit. So it's not the exact same logo anymore. It's going to be just a tiny bit different. There you go. So it's definitely different. I mean, if you actually look at the number of colors, the number of some, I don't know the name of that thing, but basically you can tell that it's a bit different. So again, not good for maintaining consistency. It is really for drafting. Anyway, let's go back. And here, I guess I'm going to delete one picture just so it's look even. Now, let's say I want to have a background, different background for the logo. I want to have a mountainous background for the logo. You can do that by adding image to the scene section. So let me just click this. And I have this mountainous background. Let me just click that. And just wait for the image to be uploaded. And later, I'll talk about the subject because that's also very interesting. Alright, so let me just click this button again to create new images. And just wait until it finishes. Again, you can modify the prompt, but in this case, I just want to use the exact same prompt. So that is the result. Maybe it's not the most appropriate because, you know, the relation between a donut shop and some greenery background, it just doesn't make any sense. So even AI is struggling to find the connection between the two. So it's probably not the best use case, but you can definitely use this as a way to add some interesting element in your logo. But of course, that is optional. You can also add a subject. Let's say you want to have a mascot for the logo, you can do that. So let me do a demonstration. I will upload a picture of this corgi and create a logo for the donut shop, and I want to make the corgi the subject as the mascot and make the subject as the mascot. So that's my prompt. Let's send a message. Yeah, honestly, I prefer to have just the subject and the style. But of course, you can always add a scene, but usually if you are adding scene, you are making the logo to be just too complicated because the goal of a logo is usually to make the logo to be simple. Okay, yeah, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. There is no donut anymore. So let me try it again. Let me just remove this and let's see if we can actually get something that's combining the dog and also the donut. Still not quite right. Created logo for the donut shop. Let me just change the prompting, featuring a donut logo with a subject as the mascot. Let me try that, and hopefully it's going to work, or maybe not. I'm not sure about that because again, we're working with AI, so it's not going to be 100% accurate. And yeah, that is the result. I think this one is pretty good or close to something that I had in my mind. And yeah, I guess that's basically how you can do it. And if you're happy with the result, you can actually click on the image and then you can download this, or you can also refine the prompt. You can use this prompt again to create a similar image like this one. So again, as I mentioned earlier, it's not exactly the best tool because it is not very consistent at the moment, but you can use this as a sort of reference or something that you could use for creating the final logo later using a more sophisticated software. So that's basically how you can do it. Oh, I think this one looks pretty good. Yeah, that's basically how you can create a logo by copying the style or using other images as references using Google Whisk AI. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.